So welcome to Cooking Fun with Joanna, and I am Joanna, your host, and I have my assistant today, Bobby.
Hello.
Whoops, I don't know what's going on with my lighting here. But we are going to be making tavuk izgara, which is a Turkish-styled chicken with a cumin yogurt. And then we're going to make a Sardinian vegetable saute to go with it. So what we're going to first do is, actually, I think I should, do you want to, I'll go through most of the ingredients. So you need two tablespoons of cumin seeds. It says 1 small onion. All I have is Whoppers, so I'm going to use half of the onion. And it's going to be coarsely chopped. Actually, I think we're going to do it finely, or we're going to, or you can shred it on a mandolin, because it's actually going to go into the yogurt sauce as a part of a little bit of a marinade to go with the chicken. 4 to 6 cloves of garlic, finely chopped up. Some paprika, a juice of a lemon. We're going to actually take the zest off this lemon because we need that zest actually for the vegetables. Got it? And then it's a cup of plain yogurt, and I am using this Forager cashew yogurt. It's actually quite tasty. The other option, if you want a dairy-free, is Kite Hill. But my grocery store didn't have it, so I bought the Forager. So that's what we're going to use. That's what I'm going to use. And then some boneless chicken thighs, and then salt and pepper. Then for the vegetable Sardinian style saute, we're going to use cauliflower. So I'm going to use probably not this whole half a head of cauliflower, because this thing is huge, but I'm going to use 1/4 of that. So it'll be like 1.5 cups. I'm going to use my 1 head of broccoli. There's olive oil, more garlic. We're going to use anchovies, and we're going to chop those up too. I am going to use, I think I said in the recipe to use walnuts. So I've got a whole bunch of walnuts, and then grated lemon zest and spinach. Got it?
Yep.
And that has salt and pepper to it too. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to mince up that onion. And I think I'm going to shred it, because you're going to put it into a bowl with the cup of yogurt. And I probably should, because I'm demonstrating here, use an actual measuring spoon. But you know how I typically just eyeball everything, and close enough is close enough, especially in cooking, close enough is close enough. But I'm going to actually use a spoon and a measuring cup. And I'm thinking that if this is actually really good, then I'll make more and use it for other stuff too in the week, because I love cumin. There would be a cup. And I'm going to put that into the bowl. I'm going to put the lid on that. So I'm just going to put that aside. And now I'm going to move you down, because I want you to see how I'm chopping up the onion. So we're going to take your big knife. Like I said, I'm going to use half of this onion for this recipe, because.
A quick question.
Yes.
The cumin's going into the yogurt?
The cumin is going into the yogurt.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, we're a little behind.
No, that's okay. The cumin is going to go into the yogurt. You can also add more cumin into the pan before which is what I'm going to probably do too, is put a little bit of the cumin seeds into the pan when we put the olive oil in, and let it kind of toast a little bit. So it'll kind of infuse the oil with the toasted cumin seeds. Does that make sense? So that's an option too. But you're going to be putting it into the bowl with your yogurt, and you're going to actually shred or chop finely this onion into the yogurt. And I'm going to cry because these onions are really strong. So I'm preparing myself. I know, boo-hoo, don't cry. kind of like that knock knock joke. Knock knock, who's there? Boo, boo hoo, don't cry. But we're not in the Halloween season yet, so it's probably too early for me to crack Halloween jokes. So you're gonna take your big butcher knife, and I typically leave this tail on just because it makes it a little bit easier. But I'm gonna cut this across, and then I'm gonna actually take that sharper end and cut strips in here. And I'm already feeling the effects of the onions. Help! There are actually goggles for cutting onions. There is such a thing.
It's pretty potent.
It is pretty potent. You're standing all the way over there, and you're like, oh my god! But you're gonna try to cut this as finely as you can. And I think, all right, so that's probably enough onion for now. Whew. Move that out of my eyes. And I'm just gonna clear it off the knife. I'm gonna put the onions in there, and Bobby's gonna pick up all the ones that didn't make it in the bowl. But they're supposed to jump in there, and they just didn't want to. You can just mix that up. While I cry, I'm gonna mix it up, so maybe that'll cover. If I coat the onions, maybe they'll stop oozing their juices. Whew. Oh my God. My eyes. And I don't have waterproof mascara. Oops, too bad. If I look all washed out and near the end, that'll be the reason why. Oh my God. I have to remember where I got those onions, because those things are the most potent ones I've ever had. Maybe from now on, I'll just buy the Vidalia onions. So now I'm gonna chop up the garlic. And I'm gonna cheat. You guys can chop it up. I'm gonna use the garlic press. I'm having a hard time even getting access to my garlic. This is how you fight with your food.
Where's your hammer?
Yeah, I think I need a hammer or something. Oh, there. Oh, that's a big clove. But I'm gonna like that. So I'm gonna need garlic for this recipe plus the other one. So I might as well just grab as many as I think I need. And you're gonna put the, at least 4 cloves into, and either mince it really small, and I'll show you how to mince it, because I'll do that one like that, and then I'll put the rest in the garlic clove. But if you're not very comfortable with the big knife and peeling your garlic, grab a smaller knife, because we really don't want anybody to cut their finger. The more you do this kind of thing, the more the knife becomes your friend. But I can never get this darn skin off. Even with the contraption that's supposed to get the skin off, it doesn't do it. So
Actually, if you
just do it this
smash it with the side of the knife and flatten it, helps with the skin coming off.
all right, so flatten it with the side of the knife, and maybe the skin will come off. I still have to cut the one end off anyway. Oh yeah, that did actually help. Look at that, but I still have this one fighting me. That did definitely help. Thank you, Miss Gina.
Oh, thank you, Ann Burrell. Good Ann Burrell trick.
All right. I think somebody else told me that too, but every time it comes to it, I forget. And I got the little sleeve that's supposed to help you get the garlic out, or the peel off. It's useless. At least for me, it's been useless. Is that 2 together, or is that 1? Let's see. Let me cut the end off and see. That's 2. It's 2, it's like twins.
They're joined together at the hip.
They're joined together at the hip. But let's try that smashing with the end of the knife. Oh, it works so nicely. It's definitely That is definitely the secret sauce, so to speak. Who knew? I thought I was supposed to be the chef here, teaching everybody else, but I learned too. Woohoo!
Yeah, you start picking up things from all different people.
Yes. Well, and I'm picking up from you too. So I'm gonna do one onion. As last I checked, this was a garlic clove. So I'm gonna cut that garlic clove in half, and then I'm gonna hold it on its sides and cut it into slices. And then you gotta hold on to it, and then you're gonna use the center of the knife to dice, like mince it. And I'm gonna give, do you know how to use a garlic press?
I'm gonna learn.
All right, so you're gonna take the garlic,
Yeah.
you're gonna put that in, put that little thing in and squish it into the bowl.
Into the bowl.
Into the bowl. 'Cause it makes it's so much easier with a garlic press sometimes, especially for something like this. But this is as minced as, if you want it more minced, you can just hold the bottom of the end of the knife onto the table or on the cutting board and just move the knife around, and then you can mince the garlic even smaller. But then the garlic sticks onto the knife. Do one more. Yeah, because these are big garlic cloves. I think when they said 4 to 6 garlic cloves, I think they meant normal size, and these are kind of whoppers. So I'm going to save these for the last two for the other recipe. So I'm just going to peel it. Come on, get off there. Now my hands are going to repel all those vampires. No vampires in the house because I have garlic fingers. All right, so that's easy enough, right? Now we're going to put in a tablespoon of the paprika. And I'm going to use the pour spot on here. So I can open it. And we're going to put that into the sauce. See what I'm doing here? All right. Probably not the right way to measure, but it's a regular teaspoon instead of a measuring teaspoon. It's all gonna work just fine. And then we're gonna put a little bit of salt and pepper into that. At first, I didn't think I would like this salt mill. You know what? It's freaking awesome.
What type of salt did you use?
I have a blend of Celtic salt and Himalayan sea salt. So it's got to be coarse salt.
Right.
So all that fine salt that I have won't go into the salt. I thought I was buying a salt shaker, and it turned out to be a salt grinder. Or salt, I think they call it a salt mill, which is all fine and dandy. But so this is what your sauce should look like. It almost looks like Thousand Island dressing.
And you put cumin in there?
And I did not put the cumin in there yet. So we're going to put the cumin in there, and we're putting 1 tablespoon of the cumin seeds in here. We're going to save another tablespoon. Yeah, it says a tablespoon. Oh, let me get the big spoon. And again, I should be using the measuring spoon, but we're going to do it this way. And then mix that all up. And then we're going to use a tablespoon of the cumin seeds when we actually go to cook the chicken. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab a bowl like this. And we are going to grab that chicken. Grab the chicken. So I bought lots of chicken because I can do this more than once this week. But we are going to lay out the chicken. Actually, what you're going to do is, let me just put this on top of the book here for a sec. But I want you to actually put a couple of spoonfuls of the yogurt sauce on the bottom of your dish. And just kind of probably put 3 tablespoons on there, maybe 4. And then lay out the chicken, like 4 or 5 of the chicken thighs on there. And they can be a little bit overlapping, but you just want them to be laying flat. So I managed to fit 4 of them in here. If you wanted to do more, then what you'll do is spoon out, 4 to 6 tablespoons of the yogurt sauce on top of the chicken. And then you can actually lay another layer of chicken breast on here. And we're just going to let this marinate for a little bit. All right. And then we're going to move to the vegetables. So right now, you could probably even just put this in the oven if this were an oven safe container, and you could just cook it that way. But we're going to be making this in the pan and taking it actually out of this container, but you're going to put that on the side for now and put the sauce on the side because we'll use that a little bit later. And we're going to switch over to making the vegetables. Put the chicken aside. Don't need that anymore. And we're going to chop up, this is where you're going to actually, I think I'm going to make the vegetables in this big pot. But I want you to turn on the frying pan or a big saute pan. I probably have one that's too big. This is like a 12-inch. This thing is a whopper. Yeah, 12-inch. Then I'm gonna let that heat up. We're gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there, and I'm gonna put a little bit of ghee in there too, because that gives it a nice little buttery flavor. And I'm gonna go ahead and put in a tablespoon. Well, since this pan is so big, it's probably 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there. And we're going to mince up that garlic, two garlic cloves on this one. So again, you're just gonna start there. This one doesn't have any onion in it. And I'm just gonna cut it into slices instead of minced. I just like the looks of garlic slivers. So it's gonna look a little bit more like slivers on my end. You can either do 2 or 4. I'm doing these 2 large ones and just slicing the garlic into these little slivers. The next thing we're gonna do is actually take the zest off of the lemon. If you have what do you call it? A zester like this, then use it. If you don't have a zester like this, then what you'll do to make the zest is actually just use a potato peeler and take a couple of slices of the lemon and then just cut that into small strips. So either way, whichever one's easier for you, that way you'll still get the lemon zest. And then we're getting, and because I'm using the lemon and the zest, we're also going to be juicing the lemon. So if you're lucky like me, I have a contraption for that too. It's one of the greatest things, you know, like that's what you need. So I'm going to use, that's some of the zest. I'm going to put that on this plate so that I have it for later. Should probably put the garlic on there too. But this is kind of a cool little contraption where you just kind of go across, and it takes the outer zest off
And it smells so
the
good.
lemon. And it smells so good. It is really,
Joanna,
who needs essential oils? Yes,
Joanna, did you put anything in the pan yet?
just the oil.
Okay.
I just put the oil and a little bit of the ghee. So you can put the oil and the butter in. But that's it. And I don't think this one calls for onions. So we won't have to worry about that. I don't want to put the garlic in quite yet because a lot of times the garlic just, it gets all burned. But we're gonna be putting the garlic, the broccoli, and the cauliflower in and let that kind of marinate and cook. So I'm just gonna put the garlic on the side of this plate. And whatever's left over is just gonna go in the pan. So now we're just gonna chop up since I've got the broccoli in front of me, I'm gonna cut this into smaller florets. And we've done this in the past, but you're just basically just gonna cut it into smaller pieces so that they cook a little bit easier and faster. So they're generally gonna be looking like this. And you're just gonna pour that right into the pan. And I think my pan's a little bit too warm. We'll have over fried broccoli if I'm not careful. And basically, as soon as you cut it, throw it into the pan. I'm gonna get rid of some more of the stuff because I just don't really like stuff. But you can take that whole head and just basically slice it and dice it. And then turn it on its side and cut it into smaller pieces. You don't necessarily want big pieces like that in there. I think that can go in. And then you're gonna do the same thing with the cauliflower. And if you wanted to put in a potato or a carrot or a beet or something like that, you can put that in here too. I would love to put in like, you know, something even more anti-inflammatory too, like cumin, or not cumin, but turmeric, but I think that's gonna change the flavor too much. And then it won't be Mediterranean. So that should be enough. I've got my whole pan coated with broccoli. Now I'm going to do the cauliflower the same way and chop off the stem for starters. Get rid of the part that's growing. You know, about it last week. All right, so you're gonna take a piece of it's probably just easier this way. You're just gonna cut it into slices like you did the broccoli, and then put it on its side and slice it some more. And then grab that whole thing and put it in with the broccoli. Hey, you jumped up. Just... No, don't put me into the hot frying pan. There. In you go. And then the trick is you have to actually hold on to it fairly well. Now I'm cubing it. How did that happen? They're no longer florets, they're cubed. And it really doesn't matter. So you definitely have to hold on to it when you turn it to its side. Otherwise, it all just goes all over the place. And take your wooden spoon. I'm gonna let Bobby stir it all.
We're gonna stir it up, huh?
We're gonna stir it up, yeah. While I finish the chopping over here. All right. So. You see that? And I'm just gonna rest of that in here.
All right.
And we're just gonna let that saute for a little bit. And this is where we're gonna actually put the garlic in. So now the garlic will cook with it as well. And if you get some of the lemon zest in, it's okay. And I'll go in here eventually anyway. I'm gonna go wash my
Wash your hands.
hands. This is why I add that in the first- it's good. And now we're just gonna leave that sit there Does that make sense? We're gonna let that cook for a little bit and let it kind of brown and saute. And in the meantime, we are going to do the lemon juice and cut the half a lemon and get the juice out of it. So we're gonna, might as well be productive while we're waiting, right? And then if you've got the electric stove, I want you to actually turn that on. And I'm gonna use this and stick it in my garbage disposal. That'll make it smell nice. So I actually make it in the. Beware where you throw your lemon peels. Oh, you know, on the floor wouldn't be the worst, but the best if it just goes into the sink. I think this is that's the hazards of, you know, throwing things. You have to be careful where you're throwing. All right, so you're just gonna leave that for a little bit. And just let it sit. So now we're gonna turn on the pan for the chicken. Let that heat up. This time I'm using a non-stick because it's better for chicken. Better for my own sanity, really. This will give you a better view of what I'm doing.
When you cook the chicken, are you putting anything else in the pan besides the chicken?
I'm going to put some olive oil into the chicken, and I'm going to put the cumin seeds. Now, where the heck are the anchovies? Oh, so we have to chop the anchovies too and put that into the with the vegetables.
Okay, so you put the lemon juice in with the vegetables?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Not yet, because we actually have to still add spinach into here and let that wilt. And once that happens, then we can put the lemon and the lemon juice
Okay.
in. But what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to come back here. We're going to
3 fillets.
take some of these fillets
Unknown color.
3.
and I'm going to not take the unknown color call because it was span. But you're going to take 4 of these anchovy fillets. And anchovies are one of those fish that actually are high in the good anti-inflammatory omega-3 fatty acids. The challenge with anchovies is that they're pretty strong. So you probably won't want to eat like 4 ounces of this a day to get your omega-3 fatty acids, but at least this will help. So that is going to go into the, going to put that into the vegetables now. Okay. And that should be, so now we're gonna move to the chicken in the other pan. I know it seems like it's so far away. I don't know if turning on the light will be better, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Now we're gonna put 2 tablespoons, depending on how big your pan is. Mine is gonna be more like 3 tablespoons of oil. And then we're gonna put the tablespoon of cumin seeds right into that oil. Now that I have oily, fishy hands, I have to unscrew that lid with my. All right, so you're gonna put those cumin seeds in there. And make sure that the pan is adequately heated and distributing the oil adequately too. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna let that cook for a minute, because we don't want them to be totally charred. And we're gonna put the chicken inside.
Let Steve in. He's logging in on his phone. There he is.
So now we're gonna put the chicken into the pan. And this is one of those where if you want to scrape in all the sauces into it as well, just put it all in here. Ooh, it smells really good. I'm like, whoa, that is like a, if that's what we're in for, oh, I can't wait. And now, of course, stinky hands, I gotta go wash them again. The half of the cooking, you need to wash your hands a lot. In between playing with your food. Oh, that looks so good. I'm gonna actually turn the heat down just a teeny tiny bit. But this is gonna take a little while. Now we're gonna go back to the vegetables, and we're gonna chop in our cup or 2 of spinach. All right, so I've got a big thing of spinach. I am going to use my scissors, but you can also cut it up on a, actually, since I've got everything on this cutting board, maybe I'll just do it this way. So you'll take probably 2 or 3 handfuls. Try not to get it all over the floor. And you're just gonna chop up the spinach. And then just take that and put it on top of the other vegetables. And you're gonna do another handful. Ooh, I managed not to get them on the floor. And chop that up. Try to keep the spinach as bunched up as you can, because it makes it a little bit easier to chop. And then you can dump that into the pan as well. Spread it around. The downside, there's an upside and a downside to everything, right? So the upside to having a big pan is that you can spread it all out and it looks really cool. But then you're like, oh my God, how much food do I have? All right, so now you're gonna mix this all together. And this is where we're going to let this wilt a little bit. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a tiny bit. We're probably gonna cover this. And if we haven't salted and peppered it, it's time to salt and pepper it. That's the salt and pepper. Now we're gonna put the lemon zest in here. Go ahead and just sprinkle that all over the top. And if you have your lemon juice, this is about probably a quarter cup. But you're gonna stream that and pour that over everything. And now you're gonna put a lid on it. Oh, this one goes in this one. I'm gonna put the lid on the other one too, on the chicken. But I need the other lid to go on here. That fits better. So we're gonna cover both of them and let them just simmer.
Can you let Steve back in?
Why does he leave?
Because he's actually outside on the grill.
Oh, okay.
He has his new toy.
It's all good. We're here. And we want him to be participating with us.
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Excellent.
I actually put the chicken on the grill.
Oh, okay, that's an option too. You can put the chicken on the grill.
That's a new grill the wife bought me.
It's a new grill?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, when you have new grills, you have to use it. It's kind of like me with I now have new cookware. So I gotta use it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just stir everything in this, all the vegetables. These smell really good too. But we're just gonna let this keep simmering and kind of getting themselves softened because I don't think they're soft yet. But I'm gonna test it with my handy dandy super duper big knife. And yeah, they're still not soft. So we're gonna keep it covered and allow them to soften up, which will probably take a good 5 minutes. These things are the greatest little contraptions. They're called kitchen grips and they're silicone, but they're great to handle these hot lids. And I'm gonna check out what's going on here with my chicken. And I am going to flip it over. And the chicken's probably gonna take a good 15 minutes just to cook. So I'm putting the lid on it so it cooks a little bit faster, but it's not gonna make it like rocket faster. So, and then we don't wanna turn the heat up too high, otherwise all the liquid's gonna drain out and you're just gonna have burnt chicken. So we don't want that either. So I'm gonna have Bobby move that so that I can show what everything actually looks like.
Are we not using breadcrumbs?
The breadcrumbs are gonna go into on top of this at the end.
Ah, okay.
And if you want to toast them, then that would be an option as well. Yes, this is me cooking, but this is what the chicken looks like flipped over. So if yours isn't looking like that, hopefully it'll start looking like that. And then the vegetables, if I steam up the whole thing, that's what the vegetables look like. And I'm gonna actually, I don't know if I'm gonna put breadcrumbs in mine or not, because mine are, we're putting in the walnuts into it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put the walnuts in, and they were supposed to go at the beginning and get toasted up. Gosh darn it. I messed up. Well, we were supposed to toast the walnuts or the pine nuts and put them in, but that was supposed to be, they were supposed to be toasted in the pan to start with, just like we did like the cumin. But you know what? Just take your handful of nuts and just put them in here. Put them in with the vegetables, and they'll be fine. But since I'm putting those nuts, I don't have actually breadcrumbs. I have nut crumbs, and so that'll end up being too many nuts for. Well, probably just too many nuts. We'll just leave it as that. Impatient me wants to see how this is cooking. So it's starting to get there. All right. So another 6 to 8 minutes for the veggies to soften up. But this is why we're covering it, so that it softens up faster and retains all the heat. And at some point, I'm going to have to cut the chicken to see how cooked it is. All right. Can you please just hold it? What we're going to do is I'm going to test the chicken. Actually, what I probably should do. I'm sorry, this is like trying to do 20 things at the same time. Let me take out a piece of chicken, cut it on a plate, see how it is. And it still has another probably a good 5 minutes to cook. Aren't they? Yeah, but they're not very expensive. They're, you know, I got them on Amazon. It's like $8 a pair. If you want to flip the chicken back over again, you can do that. I don't know if that's going to help or not. I think in this case, well, I'm going to flip them back on the other side again. It just looks so much nicer, you know, like more brown. Look at all that yogurt sauce is browning on the bottom. But the other way too is if you start getting impatient, take the chicken out and then just cut it into strips, and that might help to cook it, make it cook faster. Oh, culinary smells in here.
Smells delicious.
Smells delicious. I didn't pay him to say that. I promise.
You did.
I did not. I did not. So we're just gonna wait for that. And now I guess we gotta have to put some of the things away and get our plates, because we need to have our plates ready so we can try it and see how good it really is. And I'm gonna actually try this sauce as it is. Because this wasn't, oh.
A lot of onion, I bet.
I think this sauce is gonna be better if you cook it, because the onions are pretty damn strong. So is the garlic, for that matter. So if you have any sauce left over, either put it in with the chicken, because I thought maybe it would be good to add more on top, but it's gonna be, I think it's better as a marinade and use it as a cooking tool. I'm gonna save that so that I can actually use it again for the next batch. So, where are we now? Ooh, broccoli is ready. I can stab it. All right. Okay, the vegetables are done on my side. So if I stab it with a knife, it enters in easily. And if yours is not stabbing in easily, then continue cooking it. But I'm turning the stove off under the vegetables because those are ready. So what I'm going to do next is get a plate or two. One for me and one for you. we have to be ready with our plates, right? So that's gonna be the easy part. That probably has another 2 minutes, so I'm gonna go get the book and tell you what we're gonna be making in 2 weeks. The third Thursday, is the third Tuesday. So, where is, all right, I folded up the pages back. So you guys, you have a choice. We're either gonna make skillet chicken with lemon and cherries, or we're gonna make a coconut curry squash soup.
Coconut.
Yeah,
Coconut squash soup?
yeah.
Okay. Because now is the time to do squash, right? So we're gonna do a coconut curry squash soup with spiced seeds. So that'll be perfect for those evenings that are starting to get cool. 'Cause right now we don't have a cool evening. It's what, like, it was 92 today?
It was?
What's, yeah, it was like 90. I think it was like 92. I saw it on the news this morning saying that it was supposed to be like another like heat wave thing going on. So this week we get to be all in the 90s. And next in 2 weeks, maybe we'll have cooler weather in the evening, so we'll have soup. But we're gonna do something with squashes the next couple of recipes, just because squash is in season and we need to start eating in season. I might actually find another stew recipe like we did last year that had pumpkin in it, or some butternut squash or acorn squash, or we'll have acorn squash on the side. So be prepared for that. And if you have any other ideas, then we can I can research that and see if I can find a nifty recipe for us.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
All right. So Steve, is your chicken cooked on the grill yet?
It's just about.
All right. I think I'm gonna wait for another minute, but I'm gonna spoon out the vegetables. Oh, that's hot. That's always gonna be hot, right? When you take the lid off. It's usually what happens. Then you gotta maneuver the lid so it's not in the way of the other pot. And so we're at least gonna start there. So all these anti-inflammatory vegetables. And if you eat lots of cauliflower and broccoli, they have sulforaphane, which is actually a sulfur compound that is actually very anti-inflammatory, and it also eliminates excess estrogen from the body. It helps the body to actually process a lot of, help yourself. It helps you to process toxins a little bit better and lower inflammation. So it could be something that's very helpful for a lot of people. And when it's cooked, it's very much easier to digest than raw cauliflower or raw broccoli. So it smells really good. Now I'm gonna find out if it tastes as good as it smells, right? Amazing how everything just gets jammed up in there with two 12-inch pans.
Right.
All right, so are we gonna just, I'm gonna assume that my chicken is ready, so I'm gonna turn it off. Let the condensation drip off of there before I put it down. Then I'm gonna use my fork. I think it should be ready. It looks ready. So we're gonna say it looks ready. I'm gonna show you how ready it looks. This is how it looks on, can you hold that up a little bit? But this is what ours looks like, and it looks pretty cooked to us. So we are going to go ahead and grab one and put it on our plate. And I'm gonna take this one that I
That piece is fine.
And then I think the other thing that's gonna be really good with this is scoop up some of the sauce. Put it on top. Well,
Side for me.
Now a fork for you,
For me.
a fork for me, a knife for you, a knife for me. And how does yours all look? How does yours all look?
Let's take one off the grill.
Just off the grill? Because this is what ours looks like. All right. So now it's the, let's see how it tastes, right? Vegetables are really good. I'm only on the vegetables, but they are really good. And then that lemon is just really yummy. And then the nuts actually add a nice texture to it.
They're very tasty.
So now I'm gonna try the chicken. Bon appetit. Bon appetit to you too. Oh, that's good.
Yummy.
Have you tried yours yet?
My chicken's
It's like
still.
it's like a taste explosion. They're so good. And the lemony vegetables go really nicely with the chicken. That is really good. So let me know how yours turns out. Have you tried yours yet?
My chicken's not done.
Okay. So our next class is on the 28th. So that's the 4th Tuesday. And that's going to be our curry squash soup with spiced nuts. So thank you everybody for coming. Don't forget that our cooking fun with Joanna with nutritioninmotion.net. And our classes are always on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday of every month at 5:30. And you can join with the same Zoom link that you joined us with today. And if you like the class, you can donate $10 so that I can continue doing these classes. And if you have any comments, please list them below. And we look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.